It's that time again. I'm John Kuzma from EndZoneBlog.com, and we're going to talk about some football. In this video, it's about John Ross. Um, John Ross is past most of his struggles, and it's safe to say that the Cincinnati Bengals have had the best receiver in football through the first 2 weeks. Now, DJ Chark actually leads the league in receiving yards, and it's because the Jacksonville Jaguars played in Thursday Night Football. So DJ Chark has played in 3 games, and he's got 277 yards and 3 touchdowns. Whereas John Ross has only played in 2 games and he has 270 yards and 3 touchdowns. So John Ross has played in one less game than DJ Chark and he only has 7 less receiving yards. So John Ross has actually been the best receiver in football stats wise through the first 2 games. And remember, people were labeling this guy as a bust at one point. They didn't think he was going to pan out. That game-changing speed that we saw on display at the NFL Combine, it didn't really pan out initially in John Ross's career because he seemed timid. He seemed like a rookie, like a deer in the headlights, like most rookies are when they come into the National Football League. But something changed. A switch has been flipped, and John Ross is looking much more confident these days. He's a perfect fit in Zach Taylor's system. And remember, the Bengals actually considered moving on from John Ross at one point this past offseason. Zach Taylor ultimately decided they were going to hold on to him, and that's looking like the right move because we're seeing just how effective he can be for this offense. I think, with AJ Green out with, I believe, an ankle injury, I think when AJ Green returns, the Cincinnati Bengals should seriously consider trading him just because if AJ Green comes back, he's going to be in that lead role, and you don't really want an aging player in that lead role, especially one who's coming off an injury, and if he has another injury, his value will significantly decrease. Not to mention that the guy who gets the most targets in an offense, develops at a much more rapid rate. So AJ Green has already done most of his developing. He's at the end of his career at this point. He's going to start to slow down a little bit and start to regress. So why not, keep John Ross in that number one role? Let him be the alpha. He's much younger. He's still got a long ways to go in his own development. And then, he doesn't take a step back if Green comes back. Now, I know what most people are thinking, especially Cincinnati Bengals fans. They're saying, well, when AJ Green comes back, we'll have a much better passing attack. Our offense will be better overall. And, we'll try to, get this thing straightened out. Well, the problem is I don't think the Cincinnati Bengals, with or without AJ Green, are going to the playoffs. So if you're not going to the playoffs either way, and you have an aging player who honestly might, get reinvigorated if you trade him to another team, maybe to a contender as a thank you for all he's done for the organization. And then maybe if you can get a second round pick for him because, it's late in AJ Green's career, but, a team that is on the cusp of maybe winning a Super Bowl or who's a true contender could trade a second round pick for AJ Green and then maybe get a 3 to 5 year window during the twilight of his career to maybe go make a run at a title and hopefully win it all. Whereas Cincinnati could take on some draft capital for AJ Green, who's clearly nearing the end of his career, and sell high on a player and let John Ross be the main option in this offense the rest of the year, which obviously has been very effective up to this point. So why would they want to fix anything if it's already been going great? Zach Taylor might not like that plan because he wants to have as many weapons as he can on the field. But if you get an extra second, maybe an extra fifth, who knows? That might be a good deal for the Cincinnati Bengals because Taylor, he's got to play the long game. He's got to start thinking about what he can do to load this team up later on. I think getting younger is always a good thing in the NFL. Pro football is a young man's game, and that draft capital can help you build up a better team later on. But John Ross has been exceptional. He's taken the top off the defense, turning into a complete player who can make plays, and rack up yardage, but also get into the end zone. So you have to like the direction that his career is heading. And like I said, I think he's the guy that should lead the Cincinnati Bengals into the future. That's what I would do. I know it sucks giving up A.J. Green, but later on, you get some more younger pieces around John Ross, and you ultimately the biggest thing that you do by trading A.J. Green when he comes back is you let John Ross stay in that number one receiver role, which has been, he's earned it up to this point. He's been great in that role. So I'm John Kuzma. Check out endzonblog.com.